Good morning, everyone. Paul Ripple here with Fox 29 News Now. Hope your Friday is off to a great start. It's almost the weekend. You're looking live at the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. You can see off in the distance the Philadelphia Museum of Art. We're going to get you to some national stories and local stories in a little bit, but first we're going to start with some weather. Get you a look at the the forecasts, and it's looking like a nice weekend right now. This is a live look outside our studios. Pretty zoomed in shot here of the ramps over toward 95 and the Delaware River in Old City, Philadelphia. Current conditions right now, it's 52 degrees. Dew point is 41. Winds out of the south at 5 miles per hour. The southern winds have been helping to warm us up a bit. On Ultimate Doppler, we do have some rain passing to our north. Some of the northern suburbs, far northern suburbs, Allentown and the Poconos, parts of perhaps the Lehigh Valley and Berks counties, getting a little bit of rain up there at the moment, but dry elsewhere. Here are those temperatures, 54 in the city, might be warming up a little bit here. Warm spot, Atlantic City right now, 57 degrees. 50 is almost across the board except Mount Pocono where it's 44. You see more warmth to our south and west, 59 in Charlottesville, 56 in Ocean City, Maryland, 51 in Pittsburgh, and 40s to our north. Taking a wider look, you see a good amount of green on the map there, 60s and 50s. 70 down in Miami, 69 in Tampa, high 60s, mid to upper 60s along the Gulf Coast. Out west, a bit cooler, 40s in San Francisco and Portland. Minneapolis, the cold spot right now, just at the freezing mark. Our temperatures are significantly warmer than they were yesterday. Right now it's 10 degrees warmer than at the same hour in Philly, 12 in Cape May, 13 degrees warmer in Dover. Winds are calm in some places. Philadelphia, we've got 8 mile an hour winds. Atlantic City and Dover, you're up at 13 miles an hour. No real gusts to speak of, but again, you see the winds coming out of the south and southwest, generally. So not much to speak of in terms of wind chill, but it is slightly making you feel slightly cooler. We've got some cloud cover, but it's not impacting visibility at this time. There you see the clouds on satellite. Here comes the national setup. See some of that rain missing us to the north, and then another batch coming in Saturday. We'll see. Here comes the future cast. I'll try to slow this down for you as we go. See, some of that rain makes it into the area this afternoon, into the evening. It breaks up, and some more showers to our north and west Saturday, but it doesn't look like they're going to impact us. And then Sunday comes, some colder air behind it. You see some snow up in Scranton and the Poconos, perhaps, mixed precipitation. And then we're clearing Sunday night into Monday for the start of the next work week. So your Fox 29 Weather Authority 7-day forecast. Cloudy and milder today, 68. We're going to call it a 9 on our forecast by the numbers. And then we've got a perfect 10 for the Phillies' second game against the Atlanta Braves. Clouds, some sun, high of 73. Only going to dip down to an overnight low of 52. So it's going to feel about the same as it is right now overnight. Warm all the way up to 73 tomorrow. Sunday, showers and cooler, high of 58. Calling that a 5 on our number scale there. Monday, for April Fool's Day. Cold start, 50 degrees for a high. Looks like we'll dip down to the freezing point overnight. Sunny and cool, 54 on Tuesday. Shower chance 61 on Wednesday. And then things get milder again Thursday, 65. So your low temperature in the 7-day forecast right now, 50 degrees, not too shabby. Let's take a look at Atlantic City. We mentioned that is the warm spot right now. Looks like they've got quite a bit of cloud cover and fog to start out the morning. Taking a look around to see, make sure we're not missing any news here. All right, let's get you started with our report from Washington this morning. President Trump is using the results of the Mueller probe to bash Democrats. At a massive rally last night in Michigan, he went after some of his fiercest critics by name. It may be a preview of what's to come out on the campaign trail. Here is, I believe this is going to be Fox Network's Doug Luzader reporting from Washington.
But again, President Trump brought it up at this big rally. Also, last night he was using the results of the Mueller probe to attack his attackers. This was a big rally in Michigan. He went after some of his fiercest critics, and he used their names.
And it may be a preview, Doug, of what's to come out on the campaign trail, but he was very vocal, as usual.
He was very vocal, weighed in on a lot of subjects. And, Michigan is like Pennsylvania, a pretty important state, right, in presidential elections. So it's no surprise that that's where the president decided to go. Something of a swing state, although the portion of the state that Trump was in is definitely Trump country in many circles, and that meant that the president felt pretty free to go after his opponents.
Basking in the applause and raising his fists, President Trump was hitting campaign stride last night in Michigan and wielding the just completed Mueller report as a weapon.
The collusion delusion is over.
And with a massive crowd, more than 10,000 people, the president used, let's say, colorful language to describe Democrats who are pushing to continue the investigation.
The Democrats have to now decide whether they will continue defrauding the public with ridiculous.
In particular, the president had his eyes on Democrats like House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff, who sparred with his Republican colleagues who want him to step down as chairman because of his repeated claims that there was evidence of Trump campaign collusion with Russia, something the Robert Mueller investigation reportedly didn't find. And Schiff stands by his claims.
I think it's immoral. I think it's unethical. I think it's unpatriotic. And yes, I think it's corrupt.
We have no faith in your ability to discharge your duties in a manner consistent with your constitutional responsibility and urge your immediate resignation as chairman of the committee.
But Schiff has the support of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who chided Republicans over the issue of releasing the full Mueller report and not just a summary.
I think they're just scaredy cats. They just don't know what to do, so they have to make an attack.
When was the last time you heard somebody say scaredy cat?
It has been a while.
Hey, you scaredy cat.
Thank you to Doug Luzader for that report. In business news, big changes coming to Disney. Why you may want to check your stroller before your next vacation. Here is our report from the Fox Business Network this morning.
Well, first of all, Alex, Holly, and
Mike
Tracy, I had no idea you could smoke on the grounds of Disney World. Now, how in the heck in this day and age did they allow smoking?
You think they had smoking areas?
Yeah, is that what it was?
They had smoking areas, yes.
What are they doing now?
Yep. Well, now you're not going to be able to, they're getting rid of those smoking areas, and now if you want to smoke, you have to do it outside of the park, past the entrance. The same with the hotels as well. So that includes vaping. No vaping in the designated areas either. But that's not the only change going into effect. Strollers. They are cutting back on the size of strollers. They're now going to be limited to 31 to 52 inches long. And Disney says that most strollers are within those parameters, but they're not allowing any of those stroller wagons. Those will not be permitted inside the park. And loose ice and dry ice, that will not be allowed to be brought into the park either. A lot of people bring coolers.
Well,
so, they do? Oh.
Every time I go, I bring in, you know, my pockets full of dry ice. Who's bringing dry ice into Disney World?
People bring coolers, you never know. But anyway, the reason for that is because they want to get through the screening process faster. So they don't allow that in. People will be able to move in faster. This all goes into effect on May 1st. That's ahead of the new opening for the Star Wars land. That's really kind of the reason for all of this. They're expecting so many people, so they're trying to make things a little easier, streamline some of their systems.
No, I understand that. I can understand why people bring coolers in, because you don't want to spend $17.50 on a small Diet Coke.
Right.
Or a churro. And then there
or maybe you have a medication that needs to be chilled.
That's true.
I don't know. Whatever
but
the
the
reason
strollers
is,
are
people
also
do
big.
bring coolers.
Because if you have 2 kids, a lot of people like to have the double-wide stroller.
That's true. Hey, TC, I think I have understood what this is all about. They got the new Star Wars thing coming in. If you get rid of the strollers, you can cram more people into the park.
Because you have to make reservations.
That's exactly it.
And more money. Isn't that over $100 now to go down there?
It's expensive, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Tracy, can I say it one more time? I like the hair behind your ear thing. It's not quite behind your ear.
Off to the side a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Tracy. Have a good weekend.
Have a crazy
You too,
weekend.
guys.
Do something silly, and we'll see you Monday. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I can understand Disney's point of view with the strollers. Some of them have gotten quite wide. It makes it tough to navigate, you know, around the crowd. So, understandable decision there. And no smoking, as Mike kind of suggested. It's gotten to the point where you're surprised where people can smoke in some cases in public places, because there are limits in so many places these days. So not totally unexpected there. All right. You might have heard me clacking away at my keyboard. I realized I left my mic on, working on some other clips to get you for today's stories. Here's a big one nationally that everyone is still talking about. Jussie Smollett may be off the hook, at least for now, but the city of Chicago says he will pay one way or another. The police chief and mayor were livid charges were dropped and want to charge Smollett for wasting their time. They sent him a bill for $130,000, and they say he has just a week to pay. Now, charges were dropped earlier this week against Smollett, the Fox Empire star actor, after police say he lied about a hate crime. The city wants to be paid immediately for their investigation and overtime. And if the payment is not made, the Department of Law is threatening to prosecute Smollett for making a false statement to the city. President Trump spoke at a rally in Grand Rapids last night about the case. He, of course, tweeted yesterday that he...
That's a terrible situation. That's an embarrassment not only to Chicago, that is an embarrassment to our country, what took place there.
Of course, the president's commentary on the case included tweeting yesterday.
I think the case in Chicago is an absolute embarrassment to our country.
The president mentioned on Twitter the other day that he would have the FBI and the Department of Justice looking into the matter. So, Smollett, while the charges were dismissed, still could face some financial impact from this case if the city of Chicago has its way. Another hot topic in the news the last couple days has been the cuts that were proposed to the Special Olympics budget in the U.S. Department of Education budget. President Trump is now saying that the Special Olympics will be funded after all, after widespread outrage over his administration's plan to cut all funding. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos spoke on Capitol Hill this week. We actually showed you some of that testimony yesterday on News Now. She proposed to cut all $18 million for the 230,000 children in the Special Olympics. That's the federal funding of the nonprofit. While speaking to reporters yesterday, the president announced the major reversal. All right, this is a big story that Steve Keeley was following all morning. A woman is dead after being shot at a Wawa in Delaware County. It happened last night around 9 in Radnor Township. The store is located on Sugartown Road. Police say the gunman shot the woman inside of the store with an assault rifle, then left the scene in a BMW. But with the help of several departments and agencies, police were able to find the shooter. They're identifying him as Brian Kennedy of Wayne.
As the officers pulled into the parking lot of the Wawa, they also received immediate 911 notifications of a subject down inside the Wawa with multiple gunshots, and the actor possessed what they believe to be an AR-15 or rifle. Radnor police entered the Wawa, saw multiple witnesses, and found a female, approximately in her 20s, with multiple gunshot wounds. Unfortunately, the female is deceased.
It's believed the two knew each other. Police want the community to know there's no threat to them. It's not clear when the Wawa will reopen as the investigation and cleanup continues. Our Steve Keeley, as I mentioned, was on this story all morning long and was providing us updates. And there was mention of a possible news conference at 9:30 a.m. I don't think that ever went off. But we will, I've got his camera shot up, and if we see that occurring, we'll get you out there. But again, woman deceased in that shooting at a Wawa in Delco. In the city yesterday, the votes are in, and now all high schools in Philadelphia will have metal detectors following a school board meeting held yesterday.
But you want to talk about data? There were students who went to every student in their school that was being impacted for 3 months.
It's a decision many are protesting. The policy affects 3 of 49 high schools in the district that have them, but aren't currently using them. Officials say the vote is about student safety, but students say the scanners make them feel like criminals and anxious as they start their school day.
The culture and trust and respect at my school will be severely damaged by metal detectors and police officers.
The problem is not guns. The problem is not the lack of metal detectors in schools. The problem is the lack of social and emotional support systems that we have in schools.
Thank you. Our next items are action items.
The school board meeting actually ended early because of the protests. Meantime, the superintendent says he doesn't want children to feel like they're entering prisons instead of schools, and added that school personnel will be retrained so children don't feel that way. see some of the protests that were occurring during that meeting right now on your screen.
We're now going to call action items 2 through 4. May I have a motion and a second to consider action items 2 through
All right. I was looking for, I believe we have some sound with the superintendent talking about that decision as well, but I don't yet see that available, so we'll see if we can work back to that. One of the big stories yesterday, of course, was the Phillies taking their home opener, 10-4, I believe the final score was, against the Atlanta Braves. This morning we had Dan Baker, the announcer, stadium announcer for the Phillies for, I believe, the last 48 years, in our studio to talk about the atmosphere at the ballpark, and he's been with them from the Vet to the Link, and he's worked at the Vet, the Link, and Citizens Park. He's a staple of the Philly sports scene, and here was his conversation with Mike Jarek and Alex Holley this morning on Good Day Philadelphia.
Good to have you here.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Alex.
They've been sounding good for decades.
Thank you very much.
So yesterday you started what year as the Phillies?
1972, the
72?
second year that they played at Philadelphia Veterans
Let's
Stadium.
see, that would be 48 years you've been doing this.
This starts my 48th, yes.
How'd you feel yesterday? Was that a great day?
Great.
What?
What a crowd. This is a pretty good Phillies team.
Oh, yeah.
It reminded me a lot, Mike and Alex, of the great run from 2007 to 2011 when the Phillies won 5 consecutive NL East titles, went to back-to-back World Series in 2008 and 2009.
You could feel the crackle in the stadium
you
those
could.
days.
It was electric.
Yeah. All right, let's go through. You got new names this year. Do you practice this at home?
A little.
Yeah.
A little. But remember, I've been... even though they're new to the Phillies, I've been saying Andrew McCutchen for the Pirates and Giants.
When they come to visit.
And JT Real Muto with the Marlins, Bryce Harper with the Washington Nationals. Of course, I try to give it a little more flair now, Mike and Alex.
Now they're for us.
Now that they're Phillies.
Well, and we don't get to see your face while you're doing it.
No.
So if you don't mind, we're going to put that camera on your face.
Okay.
And bring up, so let's start with how about Andrew McCutchen yesterday? So let's put up Andrew, how do you say his name?
Now batting for the Phillies, number 22, left fielder Andrew McCutchen.
That's good. Now, let's go down to our shortstop. Yeah, let's put him up.
Now batting for the Phillies, number 2, shortstop Gene Segura.
Wow, that was impressive.
You brought down the house on that one.
Brought down the house. Now, okay, well, you got Harper. That's pretty. Hoskins, we got that. Okay, let's go. Let's put up JT, because I was listening to you yesterday. How are you going to say this last name?
Well, there's JT. Now batting for the Phillies, number 10, catcher JT Real Muto.
Oh, that's good.
I like the pauses.
Now, this one I have had trouble with. Odubel.
Odubel.
Odubel. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look.
Now batting for the Phillies, center fielder Odubel Herrera.
Herrera.
Yeah. The H is like
it's
silent. Yeah.
Okay. But you got to roll the R's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you go Cesar?
Cesar.
Cesar. Okay.
Yeah. Some goes.
Let's put him up.
Now batting for the Phillies, number 16, second baseman, Cesar Hernandez.
Oh, I love that one.
The silent H again, Alex.
Yeah.
Now, here's one I have trouble with to this day, because I see Michael Franco. Let's put him up.
Now batting for the Phillies, third baseman, Michael Franco.
So you go, you don't go Michael?
No. Our Spanish language interpreter, and since we have so many Hispanic players, we have a Spanish language specialist.
Right.
And he helps me with the names, Diego. And so I asked him specifically about Cesar Hernandez, Odubel Herrera, and Michael Franco. And he says Michael, just like Michael, like the anglicized Michael.
We remember this, Alex.
We do.
Because I've been saying,
We're
I
gonna be
think
saying
they're
these
three
names a lot.
Hey, could you do us a favor? How about this? Could you stay here or over on the couch? Get on Twitter, folks, people watching. Have you ever wanted Dan to say your name? So get on Twitter and give us your name, occupation, and where you live. Could you stay and do that?
Sure.
But remember, you have to say those 3 things so we can do it the way he needs to do it.
Yeah.
Can we get on that list?
Yeah. Eagles, 29 years, right?
29 years, 1985 through 2013, 3 NFC championship games as
In
well.
all these years, did you ever say the wrong name? Like Bryce Harper's walking up and you say, it's a bad Babe Ruth.
What I did one time in the mid-'70s, do you remember Hall of Famer Willie McCovey?
Of course.
The Phillies,
The Giants.
for the Giants, number 44. Well, we had a flamboyant first baseman named Willie Montanez. And I said, now, but Bob Kelly, and so it was good to see them too. Now batting for the Phillies, number 27, Willie McCovey.
Oh.
And Willie Montanez turned around, looked up, and oh, geez, just.
Well, come
So what did
on.
you do? Did you just say it again, or did you let it fly?
I think I let that fly.
Yeah.
I think I was so embarrassed that I made such a stupid mistake.
48 years with the Phillies and 29 with the Eagles. Come on.
Yeah.
You know how many mistakes I make every morning?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the only mistake I've made, but that.
Well, we don't get into your personal life. Hang around right here, Dan.
That was a fun segment, getting to hear from, getting to see and hear both the Philadelphia Phillies public address announcer, Dan Baker, also does some work at the Vet. I think he said 48 years. That's an impressive run. This morning we also talked to some of the people behind that T-shirt that you may have seen. Phillies newcomer Bryce Harper wearing at the ballpark yesterday on his way into the ballpark. Here is their visit to Good Day Philadelphia this morning.
Boy, a lot of people were out at the stadium early, Citizens Bank Park, so they were watching the guys come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they noticed that Bryce Harper had this cool-looking T-shirt on. He had a jacket on, but you can see it's gritty, right? And then the Fanatic.
And the Phillies posted it, and then people really started going crazy on Twitter.
I guess there's supposed to be, it's like a scene from the movie Pulp Fiction, is that right?
I love that Gritty's holding a hot dog launcher.
That's what he's holding.
And the
Oh,
Fanatic's
that's
holding
funny.
a T-shirt cannon.
So they had thousands and thousands of orders after this. I mean, they did a favor to our buddies right here. Johnny is here. Tony is here.
Johnny
Welcome, guys.
Vito, Tony Trove. Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning, Philadelphia.
Welcome back.
Good to be here.
Treasure trove at this point.
That's what we say every day. Everyone calls me.
Tell us about you guys. Where are you guys from? Where are you
from South Philly.
And you too? You too? How long are you making shirts?
1999,
High
2000.
school, yeah.
How did Bryce find the shirt?
He slid into our DMs on Instagram.
So how did he know? Somebody must have filled him in.
We don't know.
Like, hey.
He's doing his research. He's walking around town. He's trying all the best things.
So what did he say when he slid into the DM?
He said he would be cool to wear one of our T-shirts, and we said yes, that
And
would
so-
be very cool.
How did you pick this one then?
That's the one he wanted.
He asked for it.
Okay, so that's specifically.
How many shirts do you think you guys have?
At the store, probably about 50 varieties.
And where's the store?
It's Patrick Avenue, 1507 East Passyunk.
What's the website?
Southfellini.com. But you can find us on Etsy as well.
Oh, Etsy.
Yeah.
That's probably the easiest way to do it. Let's go right to our models because I like to see shirts on live people, including, oh, look at Sue, what has a hat on. Okay, which hat does she have on?
That is the Fairmount Park Jurassic Park mashup.
I love it.
Morgan, our
As
intern,
copied by 5.
move your hair back a little bit. What's hers?
That's Tasty John.
Tasty John.
That's a good one. All right, what does Bob Kelly have on? Oh.
He's kind of a
It's a
Wawa
Wawa.
John.
The Wawa John, yeah. Wawa has everything. John is everything.
Yes, that's true.
It's a nice turn.
And then our big-time producer, Donnell.
It's the anatomy of Gritty. What is the makeup of the mighty monster?
A lot of people think there's a guy in there, but it's actually blood and guts.
That's
blood and guts.
Great.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Okay, I don't know if we can do a pan from the overhead camera, but as you look at these, you have hats, shirts, shorts,
everything.
All
Stickers.
the S words.
What's your number 1 seller?
This became our number 1 seller overnight.
I bet it did.
We call it fan fiction. It's the Fanatic Gritty mashup and
PH thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. You know.
So how do you guys come up with these ideas?
We just hang out a lot. We'll come up with a phrase.
We shoot down each other's ideas constantly.
Yeah.
And just
It's a very hard process to get through, so whatever ends up getting printed.
we just make what we think would be cool.
Yeah.
You know what?
You guys know cool.
You guys should have a reality show. Just the interaction between the two of you. Could you do us a favor?
Sure.
All right.
You've got hundreds of ideas. Why no Good Day Philadelphia
Yeah,
after
what's up with
23
that?
years?
Well, we were waiting for an invite to see if we could all be
You're
friends.
invited.
Yeah, all right, we're in. We're in the family now.
We'll make a shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'd like to see that.
Look for it in the coming months.
Okay.
I'm almost afraid.
A Mike and Alex
Oh,
shirt.
No, the anniversary of our show is Monday. Do you think you can get something together by Monday?
We're a little busy.
Kind of
but-
swamped right now.
Because of Bryce Harper?
I'm afraid he came first this time.
Now, do you have this? If people go to your store, do you have it now in
Yes,
stock?
we have this in
From
stock.
South Philly.
Have you been working overnight trying to
croissant.
get more?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Look into that camera over there and say, thank you, Bryce Harper.
Thank you, Bryce Harper.
Thank you for supporting local business, Bryce Harper.
Love it.
We're coming right back. Don't go.
That was fun also. Everybody's excited about the Phillies right now and their start to the season. I don't think they're going to win 162 straight games, but that's not going to dampen our spirits. We think it should be a good run and could have a very good stretch of baseball in this town with some of the talent that they have on the team right now. All right, we're going to take a quick look around at the different weather cameras that we have here at the station. We will get you back shortly for some more local news. But for now, here's a look at our weather metrics cameras all throughout the Philadelphia region so you can get a sense of the warming temperatures and how it looks around the area.